All right, let's go. So, welcome to another episode of eCom Raw Reality, where we talk all things e-commerce, Shopify, usually Meta ads specifically, Google ads, email, CRO, and all that good stuff. So, in this one, I want to talk about ROAS because I've first of all seen a post recently on LinkedIn talking about ROAS, and the thing is that for most brands out there in 2025 right now, it's August 2025 to be more specific here, and ROAS is not an important metric nowadays, meaning that if you focus on having like a 3, a 4, 5 ROAS and all of that, for most products at least, it's more of a business problem than a meta problem or anything like that. And let me tell you why. Because most brands that I work with don't really focus on ROAS so much. They do focus on MER because they still need to be profitable and everything. However, if you're trying to optimize for like, we need a 2.5 ROAS in platform and we're testing like a bunch of creatives in order to get there, in most cases it's not a problem with the platform. And it's not that you didn't find like the best ad or anything like that. It's probably a business problem. And let me tell you why. Because if you need like a 2.5 ROAS and you have, let's say, an AOV of $60, right? That means you need to have, let's do some math here. You probably need a CPA, cost per acquisition, of 20, 25 max, right? And the thing is that you will get that cost at lower scale. However, when you try to scale, if you ever want to go beyond like 10K in sales, 10K in profit and so on, let's just say 10K in revenue or 50K in revenue, right? If you want to get to 100K in revenue in like 1 month or to millions, no one is, almost no one, to be more precise here, is scaling at like a 25 CPA. Unless you have like the best organic traffic in the world. Paid is just like the Robin of your Batman and so on. But otherwise, you won't see any brand that's big, that's serious, that scales at that ROAS. So that's one easy way to say that ideally, if you have a good business, you actually pay a higher amount to acquire a customer, but you try to make it up with lifetime value because someone buys again from you, complementary products, and selling to that person again. Because if you're trying just to sell one time, right, then it's hard to make it work, honestly. And even myself, who has an agency, this is exactly my business model. Working with brands for a very long time. Like my LTV is in the tens of thousands minimum, right? Because I don't need too many, first of all. And I would rather prefer having a few businesses that I work with for years than having to sell each and every month someone, like on my strategy, on my approach and everything, right? Why work harder when you can work smarter? So that's why agencies in general can be a great way to build your cash flow and then decide where else you want to invest your time, money. Maybe this is the type of business that you actually like. Because maybe you prefer looking at different businesses, having all of the insights, and then who knows, getting some equity and so on, right? For example, because I know that with many brands, I won't be doing the best job in the whole world right now because it's August, for example. Nothing really like stands out in August, you know, like, and I'm saying this because in ecom, it's always, I would have said almost always, but it's always November, December, and January that are the biggest months for 95% of brands. January for supplements and health, and November and December for everyone else. And the thing is that during that time, customer acquisition costs, ROAS, will all be higher, right? So I'm aware of that. And in the meantime, no brand will kill it, you know? So you need to be aware of that. That's why I'll probably even do some special contracts adjustments during that time, because I do know my team can crush it during that time. And that's why I'll actually want to have a bonus if we actually hit some targets, right? Because during the year, what I'm trying to make sure is that we acquire customers, we spend on attention, and we are profitable to some extent, but not like making bank, right? Meaning that profit is not the highest priority, and it shouldn't be. Because if you're focusing on profit and on high ROAS, then probably you're not really scaling. And if you're not scaling, basically what you're doing is you're limiting your capacity of acquiring customers. And why is that important? Simple, because if you acquire less customers, someone else will acquire the customers that you are basically missing out just because you are either, I don't know, scared to scale, scared of losing profit, or any other of these reasons, right? So that is why whenever I see a screenshot on LinkedIn or Twitter with someone posting a 5 ROAS or a 10 ROAS, I know that they are probably a beginner, or like the eCom brand has like a business problem, you know, because unless you sell car parts or furniture, right, something that is super heavy and so on, then probably you shouldn't be at that level, right? Like for most brands that I work with, their meta ROAS is anywhere between 1 to 1.5. Like that's the meta ROAS in most cases. Of course, their MER is much higher, just because meta ROAS and MER reality, right, is totally different. But overall, the main thing is that ROAS is just like a horrible metric. It might have been good in the past because Meta had better targeting. It was actually like more profitable than nowadays. But now, that's why most people actually pay for a tool such as Triple. I can't even think of too many others, but Norbeam, Polar Analytics, Candle. There are so many out there, you know. I probably didn't even list the top 5 exactly. It's just like maybe Triple, one of the bigger ones. But they're basically charging you like $500, $1,000, depending on the size of your store. And if you don't know how to read the data, then it's basically useless, you know, which is normal for businesses. It's normal to spend some money here and there just to test out things. For example, even myself, I think I have some communities that I pay for right now that I don't even use, but the thing is that I know that they can help just a little, you know, like I'm part of a sales community, and honestly, I maybe check it once or twice or 3 times a month. So it's not that much, but if it can help just a little bit, you know, it can definitely be enough. Because think of it like this. For example, if you can get just one thing away, right? Like let's say you get a sales tactic, right? And that one helps you, then basically you get like a free K in actual return, right? Because if you close a client for free K, right? And you paid for that community $500, it's like a six ROAS, right? But not to make this too much about other things, to come up to a conclusion here. If you need a high ROAS, then basically you have a business problem. You probably have low margins, and the thing is that it's hard to make anything work in this world, you know? That's why I would actually even think of the economics of the business. Like, if it's not sustainable, you should probably make a few changes. Because I mean, this is what business is about. Like, doing something, seeing if it works. If it doesn't, then you definitely need to change something. So it could either be the unit of economics, it could either be the product, it could either be the industry. There are so many things, right? And ideally, we are always flexible enough, because if we're not, we're just going to not adapt, and this is something that will never change. Over time, you need to adapt using AI, understanding marketing, understanding video content like this, right? So over time, you definitely need to make sure you change your ways slightly, because otherwise, yeah, you'll just get left behind. So that was pretty much it for this one. Takeaway: don't focus on high ROAS. It's probably useless and more of a vanity metric. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this one, you can leave a like. If you have anything you want to comment, you can do so down below. And until next time, peace out.